What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Nothing But Skills, and today we're bringing you guys another division video. Today's we're going to be talking about the new shield that comes out on Thursday, and not only that, how survival will be free for a week, so that way you can complete that shield. After we discuss the shield, we're going to break down a video of me playing survival, and that way to give you some tips and tricks on how you guys can complete survival, so that way you can not only knock out the shield but have a successful run in survival. So we'll get into that in just a second. If you guys want to see the full gameplay that I'm going to break down, I'm going to upload that on my other channel. If you guys haven't heard, I do have a second channel. It's called Skills 2.0. The URL is youtube.com/nothing but skills gameplay, and I'll upload the full survival run on that channel. So if you guys want to watch a full survival run, in that run I believe I got 2 hunters, 5 landmarks, and then I also got the commendation for extracting within 1 minute. So I waited to the very end to extract, and you get a commendation for that. So I knocked out a couple things in that run. It's a little bit longer than I would like to have a video, but hey, if you guys want to see how I took out landmarks and all that stuff in survival, that is a perfect video for a lot of you guys. But in this video, we'll also do some tips and tricks on survival, and I'll break down that gameplay. So the next shield that is coming out, what is it? Well, it's the Phoenix shield, and if you don't see, the shield details are not available yet, but it's going to be the next shield, and it's available Thursday. So this Thursday you will be able to get the next shield, and that shield is going to require you to go into survival. What you're going to need to do is extract 5 items from survival. You need to kill 5 total hunters, and you need to survive for 5 hours. So it's 5, 5, 5, guys. Just remember that. 5 hunters, extract 5 items, and survive for 5 hours. The good thing about this combination is, like they did for the underground, survival will be free for a week. From August 16th to August 23rd, survival will be 100% free. Now to complete this, you can either do it on PvE or PvP. So if we go to open menu, you can go to Game Finder. Game Finder will automatically put you into a game. So you go PvP, PvE. Once this combination goes live, it will be a little bit faster to find games. Right now it takes a little bit, but once the combination goes live, I'm pretty sure that whole week survival will be pretty busy. So if you want to do some PvP, fight other players, or if you don't want to PvP anybody, you can do it on PvE. So it's up to you. Now if you want to matchmake with some people, you can matchmake for PvE, or you can matchmake for PvP. Now this shield isn't too hard to get. The hardest thing I think you guys are gonna probably have trouble with is killing the hunters until you get used to doing it. And before we start breaking down the video, one thing I did want to say is, if you've completed survival, 500 kills, 5 hours of survival, and you extracted 5 items, this shield is not retroactive. I know it sucks. This shield you will have to start on Thursday. So once this shield goes active, you guys will be good to go. So Thursday, the shield goes active. Everybody get in survival. Play PvP, play PvE, whatever you like playing, and enjoy. Let's break down this video now. So as soon as you spawn into survival, you're going to notice that you have an infection. That is the key thing you need to pay attention to throughout this whole survival run. The safe house that you initially spawn into, there will be a medicine bag in there, and in that bag will be a painkiller, and that's going to be the first thing you can take to actually slow down your infection. So there are 2 things that can pause your infection: medicine and painkillers. Painkillers slow the infection rate just a little bit, and the medicine stops it a lot more. So those 2 things are the main things you need to pay attention to. As soon as you spawn in, you want to hurry up and pick up the 2 items that are in there. There's going to be painkillers, and there's going to be some tools, and then you want to get out, because what you want to do is loot as much stuff as possible. Another key thing you need to pay attention to is, not only do we have to worry about infection, we need to worry about freezing. So freezing is something that is very possible in survival. So always be on the lookout for fire barrels, and on the top right hand corner of your screen, you're going to see your temperature. Not only are you going to see your temperature on the right hand side, you see a red bar that's going down. Once that red bar goes all the way down, you will start to freeze. So how do we prevent ourselves from freezing in survival? Well, appearance items in survival not only look cool, but those items will keep you from freezing. Different appearance items give you different cold resistance, and the higher level appearance items will give you more cold resistance. So that is something you always want to try to upgrade, because it's a lot easier to loot stuff when you don't have to worry about freezing as much. Now there are 3 ways that you can actually find appearance items. One is looting appearance items throughout the map, randomly spread around. Number 2 is when you kill certain NPCs, they drop appearance items. And number 3 is when you deconstruct your gear. Once you get better gear, you can actually use that cloth to craft appearance items. So those are 3 ways that you can get those appearance items. So it's not too hard. Remember, you always want to look for those medicines, those painkillers. You want to stay warm by those fire barrels, and you want to craft appearance items so you can stay warm. 3 big tips right off the bat what you want to do once you get into survival. So I'm sure the next thing you guys are going to ask, what about weapons and what about gear? Well, gear and weapons are found the same way appearance items are found. You can find them through NPCs. You can also find them at landmarks. You can also find it scattered throughout the map. So weapons and gear can be found all throughout the map. NPCs drop them. Also, you can craft them. So once you get enough items to craft them, you can head to a safe house and you can always craft a weapon. The closer you get to the DZ, the harder the landmarks seem to get. So the further you are out, once you spawn in, I would recommend at least farm that area a little bit and then work your way a little bit closer to the DZ. And those landmarks are going to have higher level NPCs, and those higher level NPCs would drop you higher level gear. But you want to take your time and work your way little by little that way, especially if you're solo. So landmarks are always a good place to go farm because they have a lot of NPCs and they have a lot of items laying around. So you can get medicine, you can get painkillers, you can get better weapon drops, better gear drops. I always tend to at least get 1 or 2 landmarks before I go into the DZ just because there's better stuff there. And then that stuff helps me craft stuff. Even if I don't need those items, I can use those items to deconstruct, and then I can craft stuff at the safe house that I will need. So I always recommend you guys going to landmarks because they're going to have a lot of things that you really need to stay alive and to do well in survival. So one other thing I did want to point out is not only do you need medicine, but you are also going to get hungry and thirsty. So candy bars and canned food will help your hunger, and then soda and water will help your thirst. So anytime those status effects do pop up and it says you're thirsty or it says you're hungry, you need to make sure that you eat a candy bar, you eat canned food, you drink a soda or drink some water. So make sure you guys pay attention to hunger and thirst that your character can have. And remember, landmarks are great for farming lots of items. They have so many items here. They'll have items that you can use to craft, they'll have weapons, they'll have gear, just so much stuff you can get at these landmarks. So I highly recommend you guys going to these landmarks, farming them, and then getting that good loot. So now once you have enough items, you're going to want to go to a safe house and you can craft skills. Yes, you can craft skills. You don't start with any skills in survival, but once you get enough items, you can craft those skills. So that is something that you guys want to pay attention to. Once you craft all your appearance items, your gear, your weapons, you do want to get those skills because those skills can help you, especially when you get to those harder landmarks. Having a pulse, having a support station, whatever you want to have, I would highly recommend. The 2 skills that I usually get right off the bat are the pulse and then I get a turret. So I always like getting the pulse and I always like getting the turret. Now once you get closer to the DZ, before you get into the DZ checkpoint, there is a safe house that you can get a heal. But at the first couple safe houses, you'll only be able to craft a pulse and a turret. Those are still really good skills to craft. Now, once you get closer to the dark zone, you'll see the dark zone entry point. You'll see a safe house in that area before you go into the dark zone. And at that safe house, you should be able to craft a heal. And I highly recommend you guys crafting a heal before you go into the dark zone. So once you get to the safe house that you can finally craft the heal, there's a couple other things you do want to craft. If you're low on med kits, I would highly suggest you guys pick up the med kits. If you haven't crafted your filter level and your advanced filter level, I would really recommend you guys picking those up, especially at this safe house, because you're about to go into the dark zone once you clear the area around here. So those are big 3 things you want to pick up. You want to pick up the filter, the advanced filter level, and then craft any med kits you don't have. And then you do want to craft that heal. I would highly suggest you guys craft that heal. Once you level up all your gear, you do want to craft that heal because that heal is going to let you survive longer in survival. So once you feel like you have all your gear, you have all your guns, you have your skills, you're full on med kits, you have some medicine, you have some painkillers, then it is time to go into the dark zone. And the dark zone will be marked with a little beacon. Once you get there, you just climb on over just like if you were hopping into the dark zone, and voila, you will be in the dark zone. Now, once you get into the dark zone, you need to be careful because those NPCs hit harder. Everything just hits harder in the dark zone. And not only NPCs, because if you are in PvP survival, there are other players out there that are in the dark zone most likely too. And they're going to be looking for you because they want to be the last one to survive. And as soon as somebody does make it to the dark zone, you'll get a notification that says an agent has entered the dark zone. And that's when you know the first agent has made it to the dark zone. So once you're in the dark zone, it's just like when you weren't in the dark zone. You're going to want to loot. You're going to want to clear landmarks. Once you get your gear up, you want to go to safe houses because a lot of the safe houses here have some of the best guns, and we'll talk about that in a second. And you need div tech. Div tech is to craft your flare gun because your flare gun will let you extract, and that's how you're going to be able to extract your items. You need to pop your flare gun and that flare gun will call an extraction in. Now remember, when you do call an extraction in the dark zone, you do get a hunter, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is the first thing you guys want to do is look for div tech. You also want to try to get some better items. So div tech will help you craft better items depending on what you're trying to craft. But weapons are key in the dark zone. If you can get those better level weapons like the custom M44 sniper rifle and then the ACR, you'll be golden, especially against those hunters. Now, once you make it to a safe house and you have div tech, you're going to want to craft a good weapon. So I always recommend going with the ACR, and then you also want to craft the custom M44 so you get yourself a good assault rifle, a good sniper rifle. Then finally, you want to get that flare gun. That's what I would use my div tech when I first get into the dark zone, because I will get gear just from farming landmarks, because I don't go straight for the extractions. Once I get my weapons, I start to farm those landmarks. So now that I have a better sniper rifle, now that I have a better weapon, I can now focus on those landmarks. And then if there's no players left, or I'm not really worried about the players coming up behind me, then I can actually focus on getting those landmarks. And then hopefully those landmarks, when you kill the boss, you get a survival cache. Survival caches are the caches you kind of want to go for here. Each boss plus hunters have a chance of dropping those survival caches. And remember, you can carry up to 6 caches when you extract. If you can get those survival caches, that is going to be your best bet. And that's going to give you the most points possible when you do extract and give you the better chance of getting better items. One thing you will notice is on your map, it's going to say go collect the evidence, and that evidence is what you really need to extract. But remember, that does not take up bagging your space. You can still carry up to 6 survival caches and extract those, but you still have to go for that evidence. Once you collect that evidence, that is when you can finally call in an extraction. Now, the cool thing about extractions is every time you call an extraction, you get 1 hunter per player. Once you kill that hunter at that extraction, they will no longer reappear. Now, once you do call an extraction at 1 extraction and you kill that hunter, what you can do is don't extract, head to another extraction, call in another extraction, and then kill the hunter there. And then you can do that one more time at the 3rd extraction, call an extraction, kill that hunter, and then you can continue farming. That way you don't have to worry about the time limit, because a lot of times what you're going to end up noticing is at the very end, it's crunch time and you have like 3 minutes left. You call an extraction, a hunter comes and you're having trouble killing him. That could be an issue. So what I would recommend is calling an extraction way before you need to kill the hunter, and that way you can focus on killing him then and not worrying about it when you really need to extract. Now, there's some key tips I want you guys to pay attention to when you're killing hunters. Use a turret. Turrets are great because turrets tend to drag the hunter towards them. And then when the hunter moves towards your turret, that's when you use your custom M44, because your custom M44 can 2-shot a hunter. They do heal, so if you don't 2-shot them quick enough, they will heal up. Your turret will draw them in, and as soon as they're drawn in, that's when you need to headshot them. And as soon as you headshot them, they will drop. 2 shots to the head, a hunter is out. That's why I love running with the custom M44, especially if you're trying to get this achievement, having that sniper rifle, hitting them in the head, they're going to go down really quick. And you can do this same method at every extraction using a turret, getting in a good defensive position so that way the turret can bring in the hunter and then you can use your custom M44. Now, once you do kill a hunter, that is when you have to decide if you want to extract or not. Now, if this is the first time you've done survival, I would highly suggest maybe if you got lucky enough to kill the hunter, maybe if you got lucky enough to get a couple items, you might want to extract now. You don't have to. You can do this at multiple extractions like I've told you. This is where this guide pretty much ends. It's up to you to decide if you want to go for more landmarks. It's up to you to decide if you want to keep leveling up your gear, how much medicine you have left, how much painkillers you have left. What you want to do, that's all up to you. But at this point, you can either extract, you can continue farming, you can do this at another extraction. Now, one thing I do want you guys to remember, if you ever decide to extract at this extraction, there won't be a hunter there. So if you're on crunch time and you want to extract at the last second, well, you can come back to this extraction and not have to worry about hunters. Now, if you are playing survival PvP, you might have to worry about other players, but if you're not, then you really don't have to worry about it. You can just keep farming, and then when you're ready to extract, you can extract. So this is pretty much going to wrap up this video. If you guys still have any questions, use the comment section down below. I'm going to upload this full run on my other channel. Remember, like I told you at the beginning of the video, Nothing But Skills Gameplay. So it's youtube.com/Nothing But Skills Gameplay. And I'll have the full upload. I think the video is about 1.5 hours. So if you guys want to watch the whole thing because you're not sure if you can actually do survival, check it out. It's pretty easy to do. Watch the video and then hopefully you can make it through a survival run. Survival is pretty easy. It's a lot of fun once you get used to it. and it's one of my favorite game modes. I used to play it a lot, but I stopped playing it because it died down a little and not as many people play it. But that's why I'm excited for this shield, because so many people are going to be playing next week, especially since it's free. And if a lot of people have fun, maybe more people will buy it and they'll want to PvP in survival versus just PvPing in the dark zone or PvPing in last stand and skirmish. That's my hope for this, and hopefully more people do play survival. I just want to say thank you guys again for all the support. Thank you for always supporting my channel. Thank you for always watching my videos. If you guys are new to my channel, it's the first time you're watching a video, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so when I release a video, you guys get notified. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up. If you have any questions, use the comment section down below. And as always, if you don't see me in last stand, if you don't see me in skirmish, if you don't see me in the dark zone, it's only a matter of time. Nothing but skills out.